Did I meet the devil? Well, if you were around the early days of the House of Blues back in the day, you might know what I'm talking about. And I also met Michael the Archangel.
Sweetheart, Alabama is a poster who worked on Bourbon Street in New Orleans for 12 years. And she wanted to weigh in on the supposed New Orleans vampire stories.
Well, I see vampires in New Orleans is trending. And as someone who lived in New Orleans for 12 years and worked on Bourbon Street almost every night of those 12 years, and was around a lot of darkness there, I can tell you, I met a lot of something. Vampires in particular. Anybody who told me they were a vampire, no. Did I meet the devil? Well, if you were around the early days of the House of Blues back in the day, you might know what I'm talking about. And I also met Michael the Archangel. Now, that's a story I've done before. If you want to hear it, let me know. But would it shock me if there was major supernatural and strange things going on? Have you ever been to New Orleans? No, not shocking. But I guess I never got the chance to meet someone who claimed to be a vampire. There are a lot of vampire fans there because of Anne Rice, and a lot of people who dress like vampires to look cool and to feel like they were, mysterious. But let me tell you something. The real people walking around New Orleans, they're a hell of a lot scarier.
Now, the TikTok comment said, girly pop, that's all well and good. Who did you say you met? Archangel Michael? Can we rewind it to that? And my girl, Sweetheart, Alabama, did not just pull up with more information. She pulled up with literal receipts.
This was 1995 at the maiden voyage on Bourbon Street. In fact, I can tell you exactly when it was from his drink receipt. It was Saturday, November the 11th, 1995 at 8:27 p.m. when he walked in and got a drink. And that drink was a Heineken. Y'all, I remember so many things, so many details about meeting this person 29 years ago, a stranger. I've kept these for 29 years. He made such an impact on me. This is so crazy. I can't believe I am telling y'all this story. Okay, when he came in, I noticed him immediately. He sat down kind of in the middle of the room. The Maiden Voyage is a strip club, by the way, if you haven't caught on to that yet. I went over, said hello, introduced myself, asked if he wanted to dance. But no, he was so polite, and he just said no thank you. And I never did this. I just asked, well, can I sit down for a minute and, maybe hang out? He was already drinking his Heineken at the time. And we got into a conversation. And when I tell you, this man's eyes were mesmerizing, okay? At some point in the first few minutes, he says to me, I am the angel Michael.
So she's talking to this guy, and he says, I gotta tell you something. I'm the Archangel Michael. And she's like, okay, dude, like we got a weird one here. But she says that his actions, like the way that he presented himself, was not aligned with someone who has mental issues, although that's not really a look. She remembers the way he looks so distinctly, and it's not only her memory that she has to go off of here, because she has a piece of paper that he was writing and drawing on.
And we started talking about God and Jesus, and he wrote some notes, and he just grabbed the receipt to write some notes, okay? But I'm going to share those with you, but he was wearing white pants and a white shirt, not unusual necessarily in New Orleans, but even though it's November, not necessarily unusual. He had a boat captain's hat. Okay, but hang on a second. Instead of the wheel in the middle of the boat captain's hat, he had a sand dollar in the middle. He had a beautiful face, even though I wouldn't call him like attractive. He wasn't hot, like a hot guy. It wasn't that. He had a beautiful face, and he had curly blonde hair, like ringlet curly, and it was probably like that long.
At this point, this woman is still skeptical. She's still not quite sure what's going on here, but it kind of seems like she's stuck somewhere between disbelief and genuine skepticism.
He was showing the star here. Don't get freaked out. He was just writing a star because that was his symbol why he was drinking a Heineken. And he wrote also manifestation, and he wrote man/infestation. And then he wrote God, occult, and Satan. And we had a conversation about that. I don't remember all the details of that one. And then on the other side, he wrote top of change, in God we trust, like in the, I guess we were talking about money. And then he wrote about how to do Bible, ask a question of the Bible. I'm going to show you these, okay? Write down a question, say a prayer in faith for personal revelation through prayer, through the Bible, put your hand on the page and interpret the answer. Okay, I'll show you all of these. We had a pleasant conversation. I was just like, is this guy starting a cult? Like, I am so mesmerized by this guy. I get called onto stage, had to go back to work and do stuff. I look over at him occasionally and there are girls everywhere sitting all around him, just sitting talking. Like everybody, all the girls are just drawn to this guy. And I watched from afar and just thought, what am I doing? What am I doing? There's a crazy fool in here saying he's the Archangel Michael. And here I am just staring at him, and all the other girls are intrigued with him. Like, what is going on?
But she ends up asking him, why are you here? And I found this part of her story really eerie.
It was a skeptical question, and I asked him, why are you here? And I cannot tell you the answer. I just can't tell you. Like, I don't know why I can't tell you, but I can't tell you. But he told me, and I can't say it. Towards the end of the night, I guess, I see that he's about to leave. And just something in me, I had to go tell him bye. I couldn't let him leave without saying something. And so I ran over there and I said, Michael, if it's really you, put in a good word for me. And he smiled and said, you're in. And I don't know why. After 29 years, I can remember the look on his face and the feeling that I felt when he said that to me.
Weird, right? Like just that feeling she had, how it stuck with her all of these years later. Weird. Then she shows a close-up of the receipt.
So here is the note he wrote with man infestation, occult, God, Satan. And this is the actual receipt that says top change in God we trust. And there's the address, 225 Bourbon Street, Maiden Voyage Limited. He had a beer. It was $6.25. And there's the date and the time. Also, no cameras or recording devices. This is the duplicate of the same receipt. And then this was what he wrote down to find the answer to a question in the Bible. So there you go. That's the story.
Look, was that the Archangel Michael? I don't know. Most logic would point to no, of course. And a lot of people were saying in the comments, why would Archangel Michael be at a bar, essentially? But I do think there's just some things in New Orleans you can't explain. If you've never been, it probably just sounds like a bunch of bullshit, but there's just something about it that feels out of this world. For me, the entire time that I was in New Orleans, I didn't feel like I was in the United States. I didn't feel like I was on planet Earth. So was it the Archangel Michael? I don't know, but she met someone strange.